next section. Who's flopping?
And who's popping?
Who's flopping and who's popping?
And who's popping? Hey,
Who's popping?
who you going first? You go first.
I feel like we've actually. Do you need to flopping? We don't need to disclaimer what these are. Do we explain?
Oh yeah. If you're popping, it means I'm the player that's popped out for me. Player who I fall in.
Basically, our equivalent of NBA Player of the Week.
100%.
And then who's flopping is the worst player of that week. You want to hit it first? Go on. Who's flopping for you?
I'm okay. I'm flopping, not popping.
No, flopping first.
But we just done the team of the week. We've got another negative.
Keeping that negative vibe in there, so we can
Keeping
end it.
negative.
So we get back to the listen. And the Devon One's There podcast. We keep on that negative vibe.
I think I might be the only person who would say a person is flopping. They played 4 games that week and they scored 30 in 2 of them. Yeah.
Boy,
Your face is
way
30 in both of them games. And for me, my player who's flopping is Trae Young.
Trae Young.
I'm not seeing that. I'm not sure if it's the rule change thing that's touched James Harden, that's touching him as well. But something just ain't been the same with him early. I know it's week 2. I know he dropped 30 twice, so I was like, oh,
yeah. I don't know if I'm siding with you on this one.
I'll give you his point. His point: 15 points, 13 points in the last 2. Even the one that he scored 30, he was still -8 on there. His 3-point, you know what it might be? It's because his 3-point shot hasn't really been.
It's not been landing in it, yeah.
And the free throw line, this is a guy who was, we can say not James Harden-esque, but you could book Trae Young for about 7, 8 free throws made.
Yeah.
Like a game. In his free throw attempts in the past couple of games, free free throws. The most he's had is 4 free throws in the game.
Oh, he's been touched.
So, obviously, he's been the least age. He's been touched. So I just haven't. Obviously, he's in the work.
Basically, what you say, you're not seeing a guy that ended last season.
No.
Especially, he's a player, yeah, that when he is popping, he lets you know he's popping. Certain celebrations, certain looks at the crowd, silence in the crowd, all of that. So it's like you're not seeing that from him. He knows he's not popping.
100%. You know the NBA has their favorites, in it, like, and so you can tell when this guy's not, like Luka is the type of person that when Luka's doing well, everyone who watches the NBA, you know Luka's doing well because he's like an NBA favorite. Yeah. That's the same as Trae Young. When Trae Young's going off,
you hear
everyone knows about it.
It's on Twitter, it's on Insta, it's on Bleacher Report, ESPN, all of that.
For me, I know he dropped 30 twice, but I don't know, it's just not giving me the same vibe.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So I'm gonna go Trae Young. Trae Young's flopping for me.
Let me give a dishonorable mention.
Yeah.
I was close to picking somebody else. I was close to picking Damian Lillard. I don't want to get too into it because technically I didn't, so I don't want to explain it. But I just thought just one sentence about him because I was close to picking him. He's doing a lot of talk about I'm staying in Portland, I'm doing this. I'm yet to see it.
Oh, you even had it in the freestyle.
Yeah, exactly. That was a hard freestyle though. But that's it. I'm not touching him again because technically that's just me cheating. So my actual player who's flopping for week 2 is Mr. James Harden.
Okay, so we've gone for the rule change dons.
Yeah. And the reason why I've gone for this, I do already feel like I've slightly voiced the reasoning behind my opinion in our...
Check out Brooklyn and Lakers looking shaky baby.
Yeah, looking shaky baby video. Because what it is with Mr. James Harden is that it's obvious that he's been affected the most by this rule change. Right? It's obvious. He's struggling out here. 12 points, 14 points. Struggling. That's struggling. You're meant to be a superstar. That's struggling. He's had that one game this week. He came back to life when he shot 19 free throws, made 16, and he dropped 29. Yeah. Apart from that, he hasn't gone over 20 points. He's got to 20 points. I know we're only meant to be talking about week 2, but for the whole season now, he hasn't got past 20 points. That was the first time that he got past 20 points this year.
That comes out, and that's a guy who's averaged 35 points, and then so more than 35 points.
Exactly. So my problem, the reason why he's flopping, right, is to do with the fact that I thought when Steve Nash and James Harden spoke to the media about this whole rule change thing, I honestly thought that a player at his level, a superstar, would be able to come away, maybe in his own time, in his own head, or as a team with Steve Nash and other coaching staff, like understand the fact that, okay, this year I've got to play different. I've got to slightly adjust my game. Okay. And I allowed him I say I allowed him.
You
I
said you
allowed
allowed
him,
him,
but I
you
did.
know?
I allowed him 3 games, and I actually predicted that he was gonna, after the 3rd game, he was gonna realize that and start playing a little bit different or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm yet to see it still. It's now week 2. The rule change ain't going nowhere. You need to change your game, James. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, James, change your game.
Change
Because
your game.
no, hey James, get a new
Change your
game.
game.
Because for me, it's just I'm disappointed in it, and that's why you're flopping for me. Because if
Yeah.
you were just a regular guy in the league, and you was taught to play a certain way, and now you're struggling to play a different way, that's fine. You're meant to be a superstar, MVP. You should be able to play differently, and that's for me. That is why he's flopping this week.
James is a weird one though, because I can't put him in there because at any moment he's just too like Trae. I have more.
He ain't done it yet. It's only about week 2. He ain't done it yet.
It's early days, isn't it?
If it's week 2, we're talking about who's flopping in week 2. We're not talking about who's.
Okay, sure.
He's flopping.
Right,
He's flopping. James.
New game, James.
Hey James, get a new game.
I'm gonna have to say it has to be more of the injury for him than the rule change. I can't like this. For Trae Young, I think it's. I'm being serious. For Trae Young, I think it's more of the rule change. For James Harden, I'm thinking it's coming off the injury. You don't think
Professor,
so?
I got my hand up. I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Professor, you didn't see that footage of James Harden trying to draw fouls?
Yeah, that's his game, innit? Like,
Yeah. Hey James, get a new game. That's not working.
I think people are disrespecting James Harden a bit too much, innit? James Harden wasn't a guy who's just like always driving and always drawing fouls and always going for 2 free throws. Donny gets a lot of and-ones, innit?
Yeah.
But he gets a lot of and-ones. He gets a lot of step-back shots. He's not like he's mis-throwing reckless shots and then getting most of his points on the free throw. Like he does obviously get and-ones as well. So he's someone who can finish at the same time. So I feel like, for me, I'm gonna give James Harden benefit of the doubt and say maybe, possibly, a bit of injury, a bit.
Okay, cool.
Trae Young for me, I think is majority of the rule.
Shall I tell you why I'm reversing your decision?
Wow.
For me, basketball IQ,
Yeah.
is what makes a superstar. You cannot be a superstar in the NBA unless you have a high basketball IQ. Right?
And consistency.
But that comes from having a high basketball IQ because you know how to
right.
act in certain situations.
Yeah.
I know Atlanta fans are going to get upset about this. They got upset about our off-season preview video.
Yeah.
Trae Young is not a superstar yet. Disclaimer.
Okay.
Yet. He has potential. I'm not saying he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm saying he is not yet proved to be a superstar.
Yeah.
He is proved to be the best player on a team that wasn't very good.
Okay.
Right?
Fair.
He's the best on the team. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an NBA superstar yet. I'm sorry. He's
Yeah.
not. However, James Harden is an NBA superstar. Right? So when I'm saying with this rule change thing, what I'm trying to say is that I can understand how Trae Young is yet to adapt his game because his basketball IQ is not as high as James Harden's basketball IQ is. And that's for me why James Harden is flopping more than Trae Young. Trae Young has been in the league for over 3 years. Just 3 years.
Yeah.
One of those years was spent in an NBA bubble in Disney World Resort Orlando. Right? James Harden has been in the league since 2009. Right? I can excuse Trae Young only in week 2 not yet adjusting his game to play around these play calls because he's new to the league still. James Harden has been about the block. He's a more established
injuries at all.
What I'm not accounting for injuries is that doesn't excuse the fact that you haven't learned that you can't play how you normally play. This season has to be different. And I feel like he just hasn't proved to me yet that he's willing to play different.
James Harden, I'm trying to have your back with this guy.
Anyway, let's move on. There's too much negativity. There's too much
yeah.
negativity. Let's move on to who's popping. Who's popping?
The reason why I'm fuming that we're filming and recording this today, this is a player I picked with Jimmy Butler. And I checked that and he got NBA Player of the Week in it. So I was like, it just looks like I just copied the NBA Player.
You did the whole. You sent me a message on WhatsApp. You said, "I'm copying." I can disclaim you didn't.
No, I literally.
No, explain your way. That just means, if anything, that just means that you were right.
I will always favour a two-way player. Someone who does it on both ends, and I'll always put you above someone that just averaged a couple more points. So he's giving you the points, he's giving you the defense. I'm liking the leadership as well from him because that team, you look at that team, that Miami team, and it completely mirrors how he is as a player.
Yeah.
It's a gritty, unselfish team. Everyone knows their roles and everyone plays good basketball.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole team's bought in, and I think it trickled down from Jimmy. When you got a guy who's willing to some games only shoot like 12 shots, and he's the best
player on the team. Yeah.
That's unselfish, if you get what I mean. That's gonna rub around the whole team. So I just feel like from leadership, from defense, and his offense, he was popping as well. For me, it was a no-brainer for me that he was the most popping.
Like I said, like you said, he was the NBA Player of the Week. So
yeah,
Professor's right. At the end of the day,
who'd you go with?
I don't know if this is gonna surprise you, but I feel like you're gonna say, oh yeah.
Okay.
I went for Carmelo Anthony. Right.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah,
I knew you was gonna react like that.
Yeah,
I knew you was gonna react like that. And I'll tell you why.
Like
this week, he had two 20-plus point games. Yeah. I feel like out of everyone on the Lakers team, he's the person in this new where old heads go to die roster that has fully understands who he is, what's expected of him, his role, how to play, and that's made him relaxed within the game, and he's able to do Carmelo stuff. He had a one rusty game where he only dropped like, I think it was 4 points or something weak like that.
That was a game after he just dropped the 6 threes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think,
But yeah, no, since then he's been popping. I feel like he's fully embraced who he is, and I'm calling it early. He is in contention week 2 predictions. Him and Tyler Hero are battling each other right now for 6th man of the year.
I like that.
100%. Last night, on Sunday night, Halloween, trick or treat, everybody.
Yeah.
He dropped. He had 23 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals. And you're talking about you like players that do it on double end. Come on, 2-way players. You know, didn't come up with Carmelo. You're a hater.
Carmelo's not a 2-way player, but you know
that's a 2-way.
Like
listen. I never said he was a 2-way player.
Okay.
That's a 2-way player performance.
Okay.
That's 6 defensive. That's 6 defensive stats. 4 blocks, 2 steals.
4 blocks, you can't sleep on that.
But Carmelo for me,
always like the way Melo blocks shot. Have you seen the way Melo blocks shots?
Yeah.
Such an early blocker, isn't it? Like he's never been an apex blocker. He's always
early.
He'll catch you so early. He's like super good timing, isn't it? No, I can't hate on you for that. Yeah. You know me, I'm ready to argue.
You can't argue. You can't argue.
I'm ready. I'm probably with the team that's got the most eyes on them this season. And I can say he was definitely the pivotal player in 2 wins.
I'll be honest with you.
He won that game.
If he hasn't had these performances, right now, all that hate for Lakers in week 1 is gone. Because week 2, they've been normal. Apart from the OKC situation. Gang. We'll talk about that later on when we catch up with our own team. But apart from that game, everyone's sort of forgotten about this. Lakers, oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god. And Carmelo is a big part of that in week 2. He's a big part of why people aren't worried about him as much as they were last week. Yeah. Let's go move.
I know, I rate that. I can't hate that.
I respect that. I appreciate that.
We got Melo, Jimmy Butler. Okay, I'll take
Who's taking it? Hey, 1-on-1. Who's winning?
Ooh, in primes or right now?
Right now. I'm going Carmelo still. I'm backing my guy.
I know Jimmy will. Just a pure 1-on-1.
5, 4, 3, 2. Melo. Cool.
I just feel like Melo in that 1-on-1 situation where he has all his energy on pure 1-on-1 basketball. I can see him being.
Let us know in the comments who's winning the 1-on-1. Jimmy Butler, Carmelo Anthony right now.